Shopify has a huge app store with thousands of apps that promise to improve your store in some way, but not all apps are worth the money or bring in the real value. So here are 5 Shopify apps that you may want to avoid and why. Now, if you're already subscribed, thank you. If you are not, please do so down below. We are trying to hit 35,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Now, the first app is a trust badge app. Now, this simply put, it just adds trust badges or a seal to your website to establish credibility. This is something that we've actually talked about extensively on this channel because I do think that trust badges do help in the long run. But in order to do an app just for that, I don't think it's worth it. Like, there's some apps out there for trust badges that may charge $5 a month, and it's just literally all they're adding is just a basic image that you can technically add yourself, and it's just not worth it. You can find these free trust badges on the App Store. I just picked just kind of a random one, so I'm sorry for any apps that I'm actually highlighting here.
Forgive me.
This is just sort of like the first app that I stumble upon whenever I search for the type of app, right? So if we're talking about trust badges, this is one of the first ones that kind of popped up. So this is by Conversion Bear. Now, this is 100% free. So there is no strings attached technically, right? What you do have to consider is the fact that you are adding just more code and more bloat to your website when you're adding these apps, even if it's free, right? It's not costing you anything, but it's costing you in the sense that your website is gonna perform a little bit poorer because you're adding just additional things to the website in terms of just new additional code that the website needs in order to display this trust badges the way this app wants it to be displayed. Now, is there a convenience to having an app like this? Absolutely, yes, 100%, right? If you are not inclined into, actually manipulating the theme the way that you want it, then an app like this is definitely going to be helpful. Now, if you do want to delve a little bit deeper into your store, something like this is actually very easy to do. So if you look at, for example, this image right here, it actually within the app, it gives you the opportunity to select, if you want to do, secure checkout with right there underneath your add to cart button on the product page. You can add something like this very easily. You can pick between different styles of badges right here within the app. What this means is that, for example, if I wanted to make this happen, then I would have to go to my own devices and find, for example, I like to use flaticon.com. So I would have to go to like an icon website. I would have to find, MasterCard. I can type in MasterCard in here. And then there's a lot of different options in here in terms of like MasterCard. So maybe I want this type of MasterCard. So then I have to sort of go on my own, find the badges and the images that I want. I may have to put them together into one image and then actually uploading into the actual website versus the convenience, right, of having an app. But to me, the baggage that comes with it and I just have to do a few extra steps in the front end in order to make this happen. Like, I'm willing to do this versus trying to install an additional app to my website. Trust badge apps or anything regarding just the easy task of adding something else to your website, I would not do a trust badge app. If anything, I would probably do something like this. Let me open up the App Store. So these types of apps are becoming more popular where if you type in just sections on your App Store, you'll see things like Puko sections or section store. Both of these, which it just allows you to add just additional sections throughout your website. So you're not sort of limited just with the trust badges. You can actually add new hero images, new review sections. So there's a lot of different things that you can do with this. And these are free to install and you just pay a one-time fee. I think it's $10 one-time fee for that particular section that you want to add. So huge library opportunity, just a one-time payment and you get some new additional sections within your store. So I would probably recommend something like this versus trying to do a trust badge app. Now, next up is currency converters. So Shopify Payments already handles converting currencies automatically. So paying for an extra app to do some currency converter, it could be a little bit redundant, especially with, Shopify does have a lot of these built-in things and they work pretty seamlessly. So the only reason that you may need a currency converter app is if you use an external payment gateway, or it could be, a lot of different reasons really. But if you are a US based business, you operate from the US and you're trying to go international, you don't need any sort of additional currency converter apps. Right now I have here Best Currency Converter app. They have a free plan available and 30-day free trial. And again, no hard feelings, right? This could be a great app for a lot of different people. And again, you may be paying for the convenience, right? But technically, in terms of currency conversion, Shopify can handle that if you're US-based businesses and you're using Shopify payments. So doing something like this, it could be that maybe you are in Canada or maybe France or something, and maybe you are not using Shopify payments and you still need that functionality of the currency converter. Then an app like this may make a little bit more sense. But again, if you're a US-based business, then my recommendation is always just look at what Shopify can give you right off the gate, right? You're paying a lot of money to Shopify every single month, and they have a lot of different things and even a lot of different additional free apps that are just included, right, as part of your package that you're paying Shopify. So take advantage of all the things that Shopify is giving you, like just right off the gate, because you'd be surprised. Like they have the currency converter, they have, things for taxes. So they have a lot of different features that they may not be, I guess, well documented or well put in within the Shopify ecosystem, or you might not know at a glance that Shopify does offer that. So that would be my first place to go, is contact Shopify support and just ask them directly, hey, do you offer this help with this, and this? Currency conversion being one of them. And like I said, if at that point you need maybe some additional features, or maybe they don't support your business, or the type of things that you have for your business, then an app like this may make a lot more sense. Okay, next up, we have apps that help you install Facebook, Google, or any other retargeting pixels. I believe those are pretty much unnecessary. Shopify, again, makes it easy to add any pixel code with a dedicated app, and you simply install the code in the back end. And Shopify even has a pixel generator to help you create new pixels. So I think when it comes to pixels, maybe a lot of people think that maybe they watch a video on YouTube and it says like, oh, you need to, make sure that you have your TikTok pixel and the Facebook pixel installed. And maybe your first course of action is, I'm gonna go to the App Store and type in pixel. And you may come up with something like this, where it's Facebook pixels and TikTok pixels. And you're like, yes, this is exactly what I need. Install the app. And at the end of the day, you really don't need this, because you can already set this up manually, or not manually, but you can set this up natively within the back end of Shopify without the need of any additional apps. Now, again, as with anything else here, does this app have a viable, is it a viable solution for some people? Sure. What it does do is you have the ability to add multiple, right, Facebook pixel or multiple TikTok pixels. So again, as your store maybe gets more complex, or you're trying to figure out things that are a little bit more advanced, then an app like this, right, to manage Facebook pixels and TikTok pixels may make a little bit more sense. But in the grand scheme of things, if you are, again, US-based business and you're just a single, clothing store, and you have your TikTok channel, your Facebook channel, your Instagram channel, and you're just trying to connect those to Shopify, then doing it natively by just going in and adding your sales channels. If we go back over here, we see our sales channel by just adding, your Facebook sales channel, adding your Google and YouTube sales channel. All those are the native solutions that will help you navigate into adding the pixels in your store. And you also have that section here within settings that goes into customer events. And in here, you can add sort of third-party pixels that may not be added through like an app or a sales channel, etc. So if you needed to add some actual custom pixels for whatever reason, you can actually use this customer event section right here. All right, coming up next is Lucky Orange. I'm sorry. This is a very popular heat mapping tool. I think at a minimum it costs about $10 a month, and it does provide very useful visitor behavioral analytics. Basically a alternative to me to something like Microsoft Clarity. Microsoft Clarity can give you everything that Lucky Orange can give you, but free. It can give you the heat map sessions, the session recordings without any cost. So that's one of the reasons why something like a heat map tool, I don't really necessarily think that you should be paying for that tool like that, especially if there's a free alternative made by Microsoft Clarity that just gives you all the exact same features. And to be honest, sure, it may not look as pretty or whatnot, but again, it gives you all the data right there. You just have to know how to analyze it. So yeah, Lucky Orange right here. So they do have a free plan available and a 7-day free trial. So again, the free plan gives you 100 sessions per month, which is okay. But if you're doing thousands of visitors every month, then you're missing with a huge chunk of people that are coming to your store. So to me, doing something like Clarity makes a little bit more sense, right? Where you have all the data, no sampling, 100% free. Avoid all these heat mapping and other tools that give you analytics, and just use Google Analytics, Clarity, and a combination of Shopify Analytics. Hey, really quickly, if you're interested in us building your website in one day, then the website VIP day is going to be for you. If you want more information, check the link in the description below. Okay, next up is Facebook Messenger app. To have basically Facebook messaging on your Shopify site, you don't need any of these like Facebook Messenger chat apps or anything like that. To me, it's just bulky stuff that you may not need, or really the way I look at it is, you may want to add Facebook Messenger to your website, which is great. But you may go into the App Store, you type in Facebook Messenger, and you get something like this, right? At a glance, this has the official logo for Facebook Messenger, but you see the developer right here is made by Roar Theme. In essence, this looks like it's the legitimate or the official Facebook Messenger app, but it's really not. And to me, that's like where the kind of scumminess kind of comes into the App Store, where you may not know the difference between this and maybe potentially an official Facebook Messenger app, which there is none, by the way. But this right here just makes it look like they are very official. So a good rule of thumb is always just look at the developer, look who created the actual app. If you see Roar Theme, then you right there at a glance know, okay, this is not made by Shopify. Not Shopify, Facebook. If it was Facebook, it would say here Meta or Facebook or Instagram or something like that, but it's not. And again, this is one of those things where like, yeah, this app is free technically, sure. You just don't know if they're tracking your data, if it's adding, again, bloated code, if it's made for Shopify store specifically. So my rule of thumb is always look at apps made by Shopify. And sure, these apps made by Shopify may not be the best apps out there, may not have all the features, but to me, it's just a good place to start. Once you start running into these problems or you need some additional features and some things, then looking into an alternative would be my go-to. But as you can see here, we have Shopify Inbox. This one is also free. This is made by Shopify. And this actually connects Facebook and Instagram and all of these places where people can direct message you into just one spot. And it also adds the chat on your website. So to me, this is just a great alternative to having like what we consider like a Facebook Messenger chat on your store. People from Facebook can message you from there. You'll still get it all into one place. So it may not be the exact same thing, but I think to me, this just handles everything that it needs to handle. So again, it's one of those things where I would probably go to the App Store and actually go to developer and then Shopify. And you can see here at a glance, all the apps that are made by Shopify that they offer. And again, these are all sort of included, right? Because you use Shopify, you can have access to all these apps. So it's always good to see what's available out there from Shopify and that it's free. So bottom line, again, nothing against these apps that we have here, but you want to make sure that you thoroughly vet any app before actually installing. Make sure that it solves a specific problem that you may have or a specific pain point, and that there's no other available app out there that may be free or maybe made by Shopify, or even something that's built in within the settings within Shopify, right? The best Shopify apps provide the functionality the platform is missing while justifying, that monthly cost, or, it may not be, again, a hard cost, but it could be a cost in the terms of performance and speed issues with your store. So there you have it. 5 apps or types of apps, I would say, that you want to make sure that you avoid in your store. Now, if you're looking for the essential apps that you will need for your store that are just, I guess, the opposite, right, of this video, it will be this next video next. So check that out.